The painter girl gave his best to an unknown old woman after he saw his billionaire son watching him. She's wasting her talent on trash like that? That's what his son said, loud enough for everyone in the gallery to hear. The girl didn't even look up. She just kept painting, on the floor, barefoot, her brush dancing across the cheap canvas like she didn't hear a thing. But I saw it. Her hand twitched, just for a second, like it stung. You ever see someone try so hard to pretend they're not hurt? The billionaire kid. He's got that kind of confidence money wraps around you. Expensive suit, smug smile, couple of paparazzi pretending they're just passing by, and he's standing there, pointing at her like she's a tourist act. I wanted to say something, I really did. But I didn't. Not yet. The girl, she looked so small in that moment. Not physically, but I don't know how else to explain it. Like the whole room shrank away from her. Even though she was the reason anyone was there in the first place. That's the crazy part. She was the artist. All those people came to see her paint live. Her show, her name on the flyer, her sweat on every piece. And still, one comment from that guy? It made the air go cold. The gallery owner tried to laugh it off. Ah, that's just Theo. He's always blunt. Blunt? Try brutal? That was the first time I saw the old woman, in the far back, sitting on a fold-out chair, watching, not blinking, like she knew something we didn't. The weird thing? The painter girl smiled. Not at Theo. Not at anyone, really. Just at her canvas, like she was painting her way out of the moment, or maybe deeper into it. I couldn't stop watching her hands. They were stained with so many colors, you couldn't even tell what shade her skin was anymore. And the way she moved, like she wasn't even thinking, just feeling. And then, right in the middle of the silence, she whispered something. I was standing close enough to hear. She said, "He's still my dad." And I swear, Theo flinched, like a tiny little break in the armor. So yeah, turns out the billionaire, that was her father. Didn't take long for the whispers to spread. You know how people are. Wait, what? That's his daughter? You're kidding. She looks nothing like him. I thought he didn't have kids. And the old woman in the back, still sitting there, still staring, didn't move once. I started wondering, who even was she? Nobody else seemed to notice her. But there was something about the way she sat, like she was waiting for something specific. Like this whole event wasn't about art at all, at least not to her. Meanwhile, Theo took a step forward. "Why are you still doing this?" he asked, real quiet. "You don't need to degrade yourself." And she, without looking up, said, "This is the only thing that ever made me feel rich." Boom. You could feel it hit him. You could feel it hit all of us. Even the air got heavy. And then the old woman finally stood up. No sound. No big announcement. Just stood. And started walking toward her. Everyone kind of turned, like, who's that? You could tell by the way she walked. Slow but steady. She wasn't just some random visitor. The girl looked up for the first time since all this started. Her eyes locked on the old woman. No fear, no surprise, just recognition, like they'd met before. The old woman stopped right in front of her canvas, right in front of everyone. Looked at the painting, and then at her. Then she said, "You finally found it." And the girl, barely above a whisper, said, "Took me long enough." It was like the room disappeared. Everyone else faded into wallpaper. This wasn't a moment for us. It was between them. Theo looked confused, annoyed. maybe even a little scared. He stepped in, voice sharp. "I don't know who you think you are, but this is my—" The old woman didn't even turn, just raised her hand a little and said, "I know who you are." And then she looked at the girl again and said, "May I?" The girl nodded. So the old woman sat right there on the floor, knees cracking, dress sweeping dust. And then the girl did something no one expected. She turned the canvas around, faced it toward the crowd. The painting wasn't finished, but you could already feel it. It was a portrait. Raw, messy, but full of something that didn't need to be explained. It was the old woman. Every wrinkle, every line, every ounce of whatever life had thrown at her, captured in those strokes. And then the girl took a clean brush, dipped it in deep red, and started painting again, right in front of her. And Theo, he just froze, didn't move, didn't speak. Like he finally realized he wasn't the center of the room anymore. You want Mems, she painted slow, careful, like every stroke was a secret she was finally ready to tell. And the old woman? She just watched, eyes a little glossy now, but not blinking, like she didn't want to miss a thing. No one said a word. I've never seen a whole room full of rich people stay that quiet. No phones out, no fake interest, just stillness. Theo stood off to the side, arms crossed, jaw tight. I kept glancing at him, expecting him to explode or storm out or something. But he didn't. He just kept staring at the painting, like he was seeing it, but not getting it. You ever see someone look at something beautiful and feel threatened by it? That was him. And then the girl, still painting, not even looking at him, said, "She's the one who taught me to hold a brush." That hit different. You could hear a tiny gasp from the gallery owner, like, "Wait, what?" The old woman gave a tiny smile, just one corner of her mouth. No gloating, no drama, just pride. Then she looked up at Theo and said, "I raised her when you wouldn't." Dead silence, the kind that sticks in your throat. Theo blinked fast, twice, like he was buffering, then shook his head like he couldn't believe it. "She was supposed to go to Harvard," he muttered. "She was supposed to feel loved," the old woman said back. No shouting, no big scene, just truth. Real, raw, unstoppable. And that's when the girl stood up, not fast, not dramatic, just enough to show she was done painting, done pretending, done needing permission. She turned the brush around in her fingers for a second, like she was thinking about what to do with it. Then she knelt, dipped it one last time, and signed her name in the corner. Not her full name, just Ivy. Small, simple, bold. She stepped back, took a deep breath, and looked at the old woman. "Thank you," she said, voice steady. The old woman reached out, touched Ivy's paint-covered hand, and said, "You were always meant to color the world." And then something strange happened. Theo, he actually laughed, not like funny laughed, not joyful, just this weird, bitter sound that came from deep in his chest. "Seriously," he said, "you're all acting like she's some tortured genius. She's not. She's stubborn. She threw away everything I gave her." Ivy looked at him. Really looked. "You gave me money," she said, "but she gave me time." And there it was, the real cut. He went quiet. You could see it hit him, like he'd been holding this illusion that his wealth meant something deeper. But it didn't. Not here. Not anymore. Ivy stepped aside and motioned to the painting. "If you still think this is trash, take it down. Go ahead." He didn't move, just stared. But that's when the audience started clapping. One person first, then another. And then it spread, soft, slow, but real, not out of politeness, but because they felt it. The old woman smiled, her eyes glassy again, and whispered, "You just gave the world something it didn't know it needed." "And Ivy?" She turned toward Theo and asked, "You still think I'm degrading myself?" Theo didn't answer. He couldn't. He just stood there, breathing like the room had run out of air. "And Ivy?" She didn't wait for a response. She didn't need it anymore. She walked past him, slow, calm, free, like all the weight he used to have on her just broke off, piece by piece. I saw him flinch again, just a little, like he wanted to stop her, or say something, or maybe just matter to her again. But she was already standing by the old woman, wiping her hands on a rag that was more color than cloth at this point. "Can we go home now?" Ivy asked. The old woman chuckled softly. "You mean back to that one bedroom with no working heater?" "Exactly that one," Ivy said, smiling. And they left. Just like that. No dramatic exit, no cameras chasing them. Just two women, side by side, stepping out into the night like they'd already won. And you know what? They had. Theo stayed in the gallery, just staring at that painting. Like maybe if he looked long enough, he'd understand something. Or maybe see himself in it. But he wouldn't. Because that painting wasn't about him. It was about the woman who showed up when no one else did. The one who stayed. Who saw potential before the world did. I don't think Ivy painted that piece for fame or money or revenge. I think she painted it so the person who made her feel seen would finally be seen too. That kind of love. It doesn't come with a price tag. It just comes when you need it most. If you were in this situation, what would you do? Have you ever gone through something like this? Or helped someone who did? Let us know in the comments. Like the video if you felt it. And subscribe if for life stories that stay with you.